Hello. In the past couple classes, we've been talking about the tiny seeds and how they grow into different plants. So we're going to start today off with reading the book called The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. One of my favorite authors. It is autumn. A strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high in the air and carries them far across the land. One of the seeds is tiny, smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up with the others? And where are they all going? One of the seeds flies higher than the others. Up, up, up it goes. It flies too high in the sun hot rays, burning it, but the tiny seed sails on with the others. Another seed lands on a tall and icy mountain. The ice never melts and the seed cannot grow. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. Now they fly over the ocean. One seed falls into the water and drowns. Uh-oh. The others sail on the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as the others. One seed drifts down onto the desert. It is hot and dry, and the seed cannot grow. Now the tiny seed is flying very low. The wind pushes on with the others. Finally, the wind stops, and the seeds fall gently down on the ground. A bird comes by and eats one seed. The tiny seed is not eaten. It is so small that the bird does not see it. Now it is winter. After their long trip, the sea settles down. They look up as if they're going to sleep on the earth as snow falls and covers them like a soft white blanket. Hungry Mouse, that also lives in the ground, eats a seed for his lunch. But the tiny seed lies very still and the mouse does not see it. Now it's spring. After a few months, the snow has melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by, the sun shines, rain falls, the seed grows so round and full, they start to burst open a little. Now they are not seeds anymore. They're plants. First, they send roots down into the earth. Then the little stems and leaves begin to grow up toward the sun and air. There's another plant that grows much faster than the little plant. It's a big fat weed, and it takes all the sunlight. And they ran away from one of the small new plants. And that little plant dies. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. It will be too late. Hurry! But finally it starts to grow into a plant. The warm weather also brings the children out to play. They too have been waiting for the sun in springtime. One child does not see the plant and he runs along. And oh, he breaks one. No, it cannot grow anymore. The tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed has grown fast, but his neighbors are growing even faster. Before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plants have 7. And look, it bud, and now even a flower. But what is happening? First there are footsteps, then a shadow blooms over, and a hand reaches down and breaks the flower. A boy has picked the flower to give it to a friend. It is summer. Now the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on and on. It doesn't stop. The sun shines on and the rain waters it. It has many leaves. It grows taller and taller. It is taller than the people. It is taller than the trees. It is taller than the houses. And now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at the flower. It is the tallest flower they've ever seen, and it is a giant flower. All summer long, the birds and bees and butterflies come visiting. They have never seen such a big and beautiful flower. Wow, look how big it is. The wind blows harder. The flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger. It shakes the flower. Once more, the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower seeds pop open. Out come tiny seeds quickly sail far over the wind. Then it starts all over again. So we're going to look at 2 different plants. So you have this one that is alive and healthy. And then we have this one that's all wilted. What do you think happened to this plant? Why is it all wilted? And why is this one all bloomed and big and growing? What do plants need to grow? Plants need sunlight. Whoa. Necessary photosynthesis. It processes the food's water and it makes food. It needs water, which helps to provide oxygen. It needs soil, which provides nutrients for the plant. How about this one? Air. Good job. Air helps it grow and spread the seeds everywhere, just like in the book. How the seed blossomed and then the seeds blew everywhere. And then it needs space to grow. Great job. Now we're going to watch a quick video about the different parts of a plant. Pay attention.
Moby, what are you doing? But that's not the right way. The roots go in the soil, not the flowers and the leaves. You know, the roots. They're the part of the plant that, what do roots do anyway? Look, that tree has really big roots. Well, the roots are the part that grow down into the soil, but I'm not exactly sure what they do. Wow, without roots, this tree would have been blown away. They do a good job of holding a plant into the dirt. I know plants need water to grow. And water goes down into the soil. I bet the roots take in water from the soil. And soil is full of all kinds of stuff. I bet it's really nutritious for the plant. The roots must absorb the nutrients and send them up the stem. So, what does the stem do? I bet water and nutrients go through the stem to reach the rest of the plant. I know it's a trunk, but it's also the stem. Stems can come in all different sizes, but they both help support the plant. And the stem helps the plant reach sunlight. What do leaves do? I know, it looks sick. The leaves are falling off. You're right. That plant looks a lot healthier. Look how big and green the leaves are. It must get a lot of sunlight and fresh air. Leaves need to take in sunlight and air to make food for the plant. So then the plant can grow up to be strong and healthy. But these plants don't have flowers like the ones in our garden. What do flowers do? I know that flowers are important parts of some plants. Flowers make a sticky powder called pollen, which helps them make new plants. Look, there's a seed at the end of this petal. I guess flowers help the plant make seeds and fruit. But what do seeds and fruit do? There are so many seeds in this watermelon. Seeds are important because they can grow into new plants. Well, since seeds are inside the fruit, I bet the fruit protects the seeds. And fruit is really tasty. When animals eat fruit, the seeds pass through them and end up in a different place. We should go plant these seeds and grow new plants. Then we can have all the watermelon we want. You swallowed a seed? Don't worry. A watermelon plant isn't going to grow inside you. That's not how it works.
Good job sitting there watching the video. So now we know about the different parts of a plant. Now we know that there are leaves, which soak up light to make up food for the plant. What other parts of the plant are there? Seeds. Good job. They help flowers reproduce. Then the actual flower. They make seeds to continue the life cycle. And then we have the stem, which holds the flower. It helps the plant stand tall and carries water, minerals, and food throughout the plant. Then we have the roots. The roots. They soak up water, nutrients, and anchor the plant to the ground. And that's so cool. And now we're going to look back at our plants. We each have one on our table. We're going to use our cards and label the parts of the plants, the seeds, the roots, the stem, the flower, and the leaves. So while looking at this plant, the leaves. Where are the leaves? Right here. That's right. So now I'm going to give you a couple minutes to work together as your group at your tables to label the plant that is at your table with the cards that have been provided. And then we'll come back together and talk it out loud with one another. Okay. Good job working together and labeling all the different parts. I observed everyone working together really well. We did have a couple that were struggling, but that's okay. So let's come back together and label the part. I'm going to use this plant. See the flowers? Okay, who can help me? Can you show me where are the seeds? Which group? Group 1, can you show me where the seeds are? That's right, they are inside of the plant. Good job. What about the leaves, group 2? The leaves, yes, they are the green leaves that are hanging off. Leaves. Awesome. How about group 3? Can you show where the flowers are? Are the flowers here? No. Flowers are right here, right? Right here. Good job. Group 4. Your turn. Show me where the stem is. Yep. They're right here. That is the stem of the plant. That's where they grow. And then, oh, this one's a little tricky. It's hard to do when it's in a pot. But the roots are in the soil. They're in the soil. So they go into the pot, and that's what soaks up the water. Okay, good job. Now we're gonna hand out a worksheet. Can I have my teacher helper come up and help hand out the worksheets? Good job. Here you go. Okay, this is how the worksheet looks. We're gonna work as a team at the end. First, we're gonna try and do it by ourselves with a pre-cut little labels that he's handing out, and we're gonna label each part of the flower. There are 5 different parts. I'm gonna give you we'll give you 5 minutes to see if you guys can do it. If you can't, it's okay. We'll come back together as a team and figure it out. Okay, good job, everyone. I see that most of you got it all done. Um, if you haven't finished, we can work on it together. That's all right. Okay. So I'm going to write it on it so you're able to follow along what we're doing. So the first one we're going to do is this one. Who can tell me what part of the plant is this? Good job. It is the stem. What about this part? Seeds? No. Try again. Which part is this pointing to? Pointing to the petal, right? Which is part of the flower. Good job. We have flower and we have stems. We have three left. We have leaves, roots, and seeds. Who can tell me where the seeds are? Top one right here? Yeah, that is correct. Good job. Seeds. Two more. Then we have roots and leaves. Who can tell what these are? This is what's hidden in the pot, remember? So what are they? Roots. Awesome. Good job. The roots. What anchors the plant down, just like our feet anchor us down to the ground. Okay, one more part. Leaves. Good job, everybody. You guys did such a good job. Now we're gonna sing our plant song. Are you ready? Roots drink water, stems stand tall. Leaves make food, flowers grow all. Yay! Good job, everyone.